wouldn't trade that for the world. I would not trade my having a baby here for the entire world. Hello, my name is Kisheea, and I'm from Philadelphia in the United States, and I'm living here in Shenzhen, China. I came here to teach Spanish, and you're watching the Blackpats. So I came to China to really have a new and a unique experience, really. I have always been a thrill seeker. I love traveling, and I'm always up for a challenge. Once I became a teacher, I was teaching in the United States, and I really enjoyed that experience. However, I wasn't feeling satisfaction as far as my professional stance in the United States. Like, many of my students had so much potential, but they also had so many boundaries and so many challenges in their lives that they were often finding difficulties focusing and valuing their education. So, boom, I found out there was an opportunity to teach Spanish here in China. So I said, what do I have to lose? I have nothing but new personal and professional experiences to gain. And I really just took that leap of faith and huge leap across that huge pond from the United States to China. Why did I decide to have a baby in China? Well, I researched a little bit of the prenatal care and what would delivery options look like in the United States. And after having lived here for 4 years, I just realized that I was more comfortable here in China. I was more comfortable with the healthcare industry, with the medical services that I have experienced here in Shenzhen specifically. So I decided, why not? You know, I'm going to go for this. But more importantly, believe it or not, safety. Safety and security. Peace of mind is what ultimately led me to proceed with my prenatal care and giving birth here in China. Because in the United States, there is a higher incidence of new mother mortality. And I was a little scared about my options to have a baby in the United States, and even prenatal care, and even just like postpartum care. Believe it or not, living here in China, I have a sense of security and just peace. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. I would not trade my having a baby here for the entire world. Even the hospital, my hospital experience here in China, I went to a hospital that is considered, well, it is world renowned. And it's almost like a 5-star hotel experience. I received around the clock care from doctors and nurses, and well, my Mandarin skills, they're not top notch, but at the same time, at least I had a translator there with me, you know, as I was in labor, and then when it was time to deliver, and then after care. I spent three days, 4 nights in the hospital, and I almost didn't want to leave. That's how good the service was. And I've heard stories from my friends in the United States, and they're just like, well, if I wanted to stay or have a similar experience as what you're describing to me, I would have paid thousands of dollars. I paid a fraction. It's just a fraction of what most Americans pay, is what I paid for the entire delivery cost of my baby girl here in China. Easily, what I like most about China is the spa experiences, because you can, in the United States, spend well over $100 for a decent spa experience. Here in China, and specifically in Shenzhen, I will spend less than $50 and I will have a massage. I will have a jacuzzi experience. I will have just pure relaxation, R&R, and I love it. Oh, not to mention tons of free fruits. So I enjoy the spa. Something else I enjoy about living here in China is how direct the Chinese are when they talk to you. Like the directness with whatever's on their mind. You know, if you are looking tired, oh, someone will say to you, you look tired. Perhaps you should take a nap, you know, go to sleep. Or you're looking hungry. Have you had dinner yet? And this is their way of almost checking on you, making sure that you're in good company and decent shape. Like, I actually appreciate that. Or you look fat. Like, Chinese will literally grab the fatty parts of your body and say, you're looking fat. You should take better care of your health. And I'm saying this only to say it might come out negative, but it really is them really just looking out for you in some way, shape, or form. And one other thing is bargaining for discounts. When you're shopping, many places around the city and in China, you are able to bargain a little for or haggle for a lower price, and the Chinese will stick to the original price as much as possible. And I like this. I like that I can bargain, but I also respect the fact that, you know, this is the price that you were given and we're not going to go but so low. And when it comes to money, Chinese are serious when it comes to their money. And they're so serious that it's ingrained in their children. And how do I know this? I have been a teacher here for 4 years. So I'll never forget, once I had a class and I gave the students 2 options. I said, hey, if I gave you the option of 1 million USD or a plane, and you can take this plane and go anywhere in the world, which would you choose? Those students chose the money. And then I said, well, what would you do with that money? They said, I would invest. Huh? I was very confused, because in the United States, I'm not sure students would choose to invest that money. They may choose to spend the money. These Chinese were like, I'd either invest the money or buy real estate. They were 12 years old. Wow. Has to deal with hygiene and common sense type of behaviors, because as far as, yeah, do you agree? Yes. As far as hygiene or common sense, I'm not even sure common sense, maybe common courtesy, there it is, because people will just yawn and, you know, not cover their mouths, which is not really that big of a deal, but coughing or sneezing and not covering your mouth, especially if it's in my direction. Could you be more courteous, please? But you know, something that someone did share with me when I first moved here. Well, think about it. When you cough or when you sneeze, you're trying to eject the particles, the negative particles, bacteria out from your body. So why would you cover your mouth? And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. However, I don't want your germs. So that's something that I have and still, or had and still have a problem with. I said common sense for a reason, because I bike, and whether you're biking or you're just walking, people will just literally stop in your lane, wherever you're walking. People will stop there. Or, you know, you're about to go up the escalators. Someone will stand at the bottom of the escalators and just stand there. They're just standing there. Maybe they're looking for their family member. Hey, come this way. But they're in your way. The point is they are in your way. And they may not even realize this. One other thing, as far as common sense, that just like is a pet peeve of mine now, is when, okay, so you have double doors, right? You know what I'm talking about, the double doors. And you'll press the button to release the automatic, you know, for the doors to open automatically. They're double doors. Why does everyone go out the same door? You know, I wish people would just use both doors. Just little things like that. It's funny to think about, because I'll never forget when I first arrived into China, and I thought that 2 months max before I go back to the United States. And here I am, almost 5 years later, and with my daughter. Because I see so many opportunities for her. I see that she can really benefit from gaining as much as she can from the Chinese customs, culture, but also language. I really want this little lady to be able to speak fluent Mandarin. You know, I want her to be fluent in the language. So we are in it for at least 2, maybe 3 more years. And then I want her to go out into the world and take with her her Chinese experience and share it with others, help to inspire others. But the opportunities for her will be endless if she is able to speak, well, English, Spanish, and Mandarin. I have learned that patience will take you a long way. Mostly because when I first arrived into China, I did not prepare. The language, I only knew ni hao, and that's about it. Xie, thanks to rush hour. That's all that I knew. So I arrived, I am already what I would consider a linguist, you know, with the Spanish language and teaching it. So I'm thinking, oh, this will be no big deal. Mandarin, I got this. But Shenzhen is, well, number one, Shenzhen is a city of, well, many migrants. Most of the folks who live here, they're not from Shenzhen. They're from different regions of China. So you get into the city and the language barrier is intense because there's so many accents, dialects. I know it's hard. It's hard to understand sometimes. But when you try and you're patient with the language and with others and communication just in general, it will take you so far. Don't ever forget that. It will take you so far. My biggest suggestion, or recommendation rather, is try and be understanding of people here, because you know, you may have traveled the world and experienced culture shock, but until you have come to China, you don't know what culture shock is. And you have to understand that this country has had a time in its history where there wasn't a whole lot of exposure to the outside world, in particular to Black and brown folk. When people see you, what they think is oftentimes what they have seen portrayed in the media, and it may not be the most attractive image of you. However, I think it is our responsibility to come out here and to portray something more positive. And you know, although I know I mentioned before that Chinese are quite honest, they don't beat around the bush with whatever they have to say about you or how you look. But that brutal honesty is something that I think you learn to appreciate over time. And especially as an American, we're very used to just like people being very fake, phony, and just, oh, let me stroke your ego because I'm kind of scared of your reaction. Yeah, what do you don't know, you haven't been to the United States. However, try and be understanding. When people see you, sure, they're frowning because they maybe never seen someone like you before. You'd be surprised if you smile, the smile that you will receive in response is huge. So just come here and have a little bit of understanding and smile. Okay, so if you're interested in knowing a little bit about me and my journey here in Shenzhen and in Southeast Asia, you can follow me actually. I have an Instagram account and it's KSD Travels.